Welcome to Elite Rugby S&C podcast, the best podcast talking all things rugby and strength and conditioning. At Elite Rugby S&C, we provide athletes with strength and conditioning programs that provides you with everything you need to become a beast and take your game to the next level. No matter what stage of the year or season, Elite Rugby S&C has a program for you. You can try before you buy, so try our 7-day $7 trial to get a taste of what we offer here at Elite Rugby S&C. So take your game to the next level, become a beast, and join Elite Rugby S&C today. Today on the podcast, Wallabies and Waratahs fly half Ben Donaldson joins me for a chat. Ben made his debut for the Waratahs in 2020 against the Western Force. In 2022, Ben debuted for Australia A in the Pacific Nations Cup, and then went on to make his test debut for the Wallabies in the Autumn Series against Italy. Outside of Super Rugby and International Rugby, Ben plays for Randwick in the Shute Shield rugby competition. We talk about his playing experience for Australia A and the Wallabies. We discuss the physical attributes needed to play 10 or 15. Ben talks about the 2023 Super Rugby season. We talk about the importance of strength conditioning training for rugby athletes. And Ben provides great advice for all rugby athletes. This was a fantastic episode, and I just want to thank Ben again for joining me on the podcast. So g'day Ben, how are you?
Good, thanks. Very good. Yeah, back in training at the moment. Had a day off today, which is nice, but yeah, going well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm going really well, thanks. So what is a day off entitled for you, Ben? What's a normal day off?
Um, Changes every week, depending on weather, plans, if anything pops up. But usually have a bit of a sleep in, catch up on some sleep because we're up pretty early for training and stuff on other days. But like to get down to the beach, have a swim. Obviously now with the new facilities at the TARS, like to get in there and have either a sauna or an ice bath. And then just kind of get my mind away from footy. So either, play some golf, go for a surf, or just, catch up with a couple of mates. Yeah, just anything really to chill out and get away from footy for a bit.
Nah, it's awesome. How do you get on the golf range or the golf course? Are you pretty handy?
Um, I wouldn't say I'm handy. I get by. But yeah, I'm definitely not the best. A couple of boys at TARS are pretty good, but yeah, I get by, which is all right.
Who would be the best on the golf course from the TARS?
It's a good question. Probably Will Harris. He's pretty handy. Who else? Will Harris is probably my pick.
Ah, that's awesome. Yeah, that new training facility looks awesome that the Waratahs have. How have you been enjoying training there?
Yeah, it's been unreal. It's obviously the past couple of years we've been in the demountables over the other side there at Daceyville. And yeah, it's a complete different change moving into these facilities. Obviously, one, you feel a lot more of a professional, and I guess having all the recovery facilities, bigger gym, meeting rooms, like we've got everything now. So yeah, it's been awesome. The boys are loving it, and the coaches are loving it, and yeah, there's no excuses now.
No, it's awesome. I love seeing, new training facilities, and just like you said, it makes you feel like a more professional athlete and can really have all the tools that you need to best prepare yourself during the week so that you can go out there on game day and perform.
Yeah, 100%.
So, how's the body and mind traveling? Are they ready for a big rugby season?
Yeah, I'm good at the moment. I obviously had a big season last year and we got a solid break after the spring tour, 5 weeks off, which is perfect. Got away, got my mind away from footy, got the body right. Still trained a fair bit, but got the body right, got the mind right, and yeah, like we were just talking about the facilities, it helps when you've got new facilities coming back in, makes it more enticing. And yeah, like I said, my body and my mind's all good and back into training. Had 2 full weeks now back with the team at the TARS, so ready to rip in. And first trials next week, next Saturday. So yeah, all good to go now.
Nah, it's awesome. So before we, talk about that last 12 months of rugby for you, growing up as a young lad, what sports did you play and how did you end up playing rugby?
Yeah, so I basically played everything under the sun, to be honest. You know, Before primary school, playing touch footy, soccer, rugby league, nippers down at the beach, everything. And then primary school, rugby league, cricket, like I said, surf rescue. What else? Soccer. And then kind of moving through primary school into high school, soccer and rugby league were the main ones. And then obviously once you hit high school, there was no rugby league. I went to Waverley College, so it was just rugby union there. So then it was just cricket in summer, rugby union in winter. And then they were the main two really, all the way through until rugby union became my number one sport. But yeah, a lot of sports when we were younger, which obviously helps your skill set and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm very, very glad that I did all that.
What made you decide you want to stick with rugby union? Was it just something like because of the options available to you, or you found it more enjoyable compared to the other sports?
Um, I was probably just better at it than the other sports, to be honest. I loved my cricket. Played first 11 cricket at school, at high school and stuff, and that was all a lot of fun. But I could kind of tell from a young age I was never really going to make it as a cricketer. More for just the enjoyment factor. But yeah, I think I just started to excel in rugby in year 11 and year 12, and obviously enjoyed rugby union the most. Rugby league was good as a young fella, but um, from the age of 13, it was mainly just rugby union from then on. So yeah, one, I was decent at it, and then two, just enjoyment. And my dad and my uncles and all my extended family all love rugby union, and they've played rugby union. So I think it's kind of in the family as well. So yeah, it just all worked out well.
No, it's awesome. It's awesome to see, athletes who just went out there and played many different sports when they were younger.
Mm,
So good on the parents for pushing them to
yeah,
play as many sports as they can, and then eventually
definitely.
specialize in one sport. And if you weren't playing rugby, do you think you would be on Bondi Rescue? Being a lifesaver, or
Oh, I don't think so. I kind of only did nippers and stuff because mum and dad thought it was a good thing to do, get in the water and do something on a Sunday. And yeah, I don't know. Once nippers finished and you kind of join the surf club, I was down at Coogee. You got to do some what they call it, the can't remember what it's called now, but you go down on a Sunday and help out in the red and green. Oh, sorry, the red and yellow costumes they wear down there. But yeah, I don't think I'd be on and down at Bondi running around anyway. I don't think my skill set would help out much down there.
that's all good. So the last 12 months have been massive for you. You had a solid season for the Waratahs, which led to, playing for Australia A, which is awesome that they brought that back. And then eventually
Mm.
two caps for the Wallabies. Can you talk about that rugby season a bit more for us?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously it was leading into last year. We knew it was going to be a tough one with the Waratahs. Obviously coming off a 0-win season the season before. New coach with DC, a few new signings. So it was obviously a very exciting period going into the year. Had a really good preseason. Trained really well. Had some good trials. Won all our trial matches, and then yeah, like you said, I started at 10 for the Tars, and we started really well. Got some wins on the board and a few close losses as well. But yeah, just had some really good form. Was really enjoying my footy, and then had a few injuries, and then came back from then. And then when we made the quarterfinals, unfortunately bowed out there, but it was pretty solid to make it that far from the year we had previously. And then yeah, onto Aussie A, which is a great initiative. I think they've brought back, which was awesome. Went to Fiji for 3 games, and then Japan for 3 games, and that was super fun. Meeting all the other boys and had a bit of success over there, which was fun as well. And obviously helped my footy. Just playing at another level above super. It's always going to help your footy, and it's pretty pleased to have played some good footy there, and then obviously make the Wallabies squad. And yeah, like I said, 2 caps, one loss, one win. That's rugby. You're not going to win them all, but a lot of learning experiences from Tars to Aussie A to Wallabies, and yeah, it was a huge year, but wouldn't have it any other way. And yeah, hopefully build on that into this year.
No, it's awesome. When you reflect back on that year, do you think that would have happened? Like when you were planning out your goals for 2022, did you have in mind playing for Australia A and playing for the Wallabies? Like, was that in your mind? Like, you knew you could get to that level?
Um, yeah, it's a good question. One of my goals was to make the Wallaby squad last year. Wasn't to play a game or anything, it was just to make the squad. So yeah, in the back of my mind, yes, I knew I was good enough to do it. It just meant I had to play good footy, stay in the team. Obviously, we've got some good competition at the Tars in the positions I play, so I knew it was going to be tough. But yeah, it was definitely a goal of mine, and I was lucky enough to make the squad. And once I got there, I knew I was good enough to actually get on the field then and play some games. So um, yeah, it just shows if you have a goal in mind and you stick to it, like anything's possible. And yeah, now I know that I've done that, and now hopefully can push forward.
That's awesome. And the thing that resonates with me the most is you were enjoying your footy. You know, you
Mm.
weren't just focusing too hard on the one goal. It was like, hey, I still got to enjoy myself and make the most of my time here with the Waratahs. And I think that's another key thing that helped you get to that Wallabies level was enjoy your footy, play the best that you can for the Waratahs, and see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. I think like from a young age, my coaches, my dad, my mum, everyone said just enjoy your footy. If you're having fun and you're enjoying your footy, you're most likely going to play your best footy. So that's just what I try to do when I'm training. Just try to have fun, enjoy it. Obviously, you're being serious as well at the same time. But yeah, the more you can enjoy your footy on the field, for me personally, I feel like that's when I play my best footy.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So, like I said, I really enjoyed seeing yourself and other Super Rugby athletes get the opportunity to represent Australia with that Australia A side. Do you think this should become a regular thing now for Australia and for other big rugby nations as well?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, there was a lot of players who, like myself, who probably had goals of playing for the Wallabies last year, and some made it, some probably didn't, just on the fringe. But just that having that in between area which is Aussie A, I think it's awesome. You bring in coaches from Super Rugby clubs who get a chance to coach that higher level, which helps them as well. Um, Boys who have excelled at Super Rugby gives them another chance to excel at higher levels. And we played the Japanese test side, which was awesome. Like 90% of their test side were playing, which was really cool. The Fijian test side, Samoan test side, and Tonga had a couple injuries, but like, yeah, that's four test sides who you get to verse who, which I haven't done in 10 years. So I think it's a great initiative, and I really hope they keep it going because I learned a lot from it. I probably wouldn't have played for the Wallabies if it wasn't for that Aussie A program because that's kind of pushed me through. So yeah, for boys who are kind of coming through and on the fringe, I think it's a really, really good thing.
And it's also a good thing to keep that talent here in Australia as well. You know, maybe that one taste of going on a tour to Japan is enough for you to stay here and like, yeah, I really want to play for my country and I know I can get there instead of like, oh yeah, I can't really see myself and maybe two or three positions behind that certain position and I might go try my luck overseas somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree more. I think, it's, like you said, some boys say at the Tars or Reds or wherever they are, they might be on the bench or they might not be getting many minutes, but then they find themselves in an Aussie A squad because they've played some good footy or the coach sees potential in them and they play one game against a test side and they win. They feel that winning, culture in an Aussie team and they go, wow, like I really want to stick around. And that's what Gilly, who was our head coach for Aussie A, he was really big on driving that, just like the enjoyment factor and a successful culture, really playing for your country, even though it's an A side, but you're still playing for your country. And I think all the boys on that tour really felt that. And yeah, now everyone just wants another taste of it.
And they were really good games as well. Like we had some really close games, and then you had a game where you blew another team out. But they were very competitive, and it was just cool to see different combinations. You know, not the same combinations that we've been seeing for the Wallabies. It was different. Players were coming in and out, and just getting the opportunity. So I think you'd be silly not to continue this
Mm.
on because it's just provided so much great opportunity for players.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, the different combinations, like people have always spoken about combinations and who's the best combination for the test side. And I think it just gave all the boys another shot and gave the test selectors, you know, more of a look at different combinations and who can put their hand up. And yeah, it was really cool and a lot of fun.
And if you're not going to bring it back, then you really have to go back to bringing something like the NRC back because
Mm.
as soon as the Super Rugby finishes, yeah, players go back to your Shoot Shield teams or here in Canberra go back to the John O'Dent Cup, but you need something to fill that gap because the Super Rugby season is not that long and it's hard for players to keep fit and strong, you know, just training out there at their facilities. They need to be playing rugby.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree more. Like the NRC, I played one or two seasons with the NRC, which was awesome. But yeah, my personal preference is the Aussie A program. I
Mm.
just think it's that next level up, gives players a good experience into that test side. But yeah, like you said, if that's not gonna come back, I definitely feel like there should be something else. Just because boys need to keep playing footy to get better. So yeah.
That's awesome. So, which position do you enjoy playing the most? Is it 10, 15, or is it a different position? Could be 12, 13. Who knows?
Yeah, no, definitely 10. Obviously, I've played a fair bit of 10, fair bit of 15. for my whole life, really, from a young age. And it definitely helps in selection, higher rep honors and stuff. It's good to, be able to play certain positions. But yeah, definitely 10. Feel like I play my best footy when I'm there. Um, I've played for Aussie A for the Wallabies there now, so I feel comfortable in that role. Um, and yeah, now it's just about really executing and performing every game, getting some consistency, and just really leading whatever team I'm playing in, just leading them around the park and trying to play my best footy there.
Does your approach change when you're playing, like when you've been named at 10 compared to 15?
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. I guess there's probably a little bit more pressure when you're at 10, purely just because you're the game leader. You make all the calls, you're calling the shots. You'd probably touch on the ball more than anyone else in the team, bar the halfback. When you're at 15, you kind of don't have those pressure roles. Making the calls. Um, you know, Talking in huddles, you're probably going to talk a bit more at 10 than 15, just because you're that general who needs to lead everyone around. But like physically wise, everything else, nothing changes. But it's probably just that little mental thing when you're at 10. You've really got to be on. You need to know your stuff, because you're essentially marching the boys around.
100%. So, what are the physical attributes needed to be successful for a number 10 in your eyes, and then for a number 15 as well?
Um, at 10, well, obviously you've got to be a good defender because you're in the front line. So you've obviously got to be quite strong up top. You've got to be quite quick because, well, I suppose your 10-meter acceleration needs to be quite good because you're not going to have as much room to run as a fullback. You might get a little gap and you've got to get through that gap. Whereas at 15, you're obviously going to open up a bit more. You have a lot more space. So I guess your top end speed will be a lot more important. Your aerial skills at 15 are more important. So your jump, getting up off the ground. I guess your footwork, your agility and stuff is pretty important for both positions. But then, yeah, I guess like 10 and 15, you got to be a good defender. You got to be able to run with the ball. So you've got to be quite strong up top, have strong power through your legs. But yeah, no major differences. But I suppose at 15, just that top end speed because you're opening up a bit more. And at 10, yeah, like I said before.
No, it's awesome. Yeah, you definitely need some strong hamstrings for the 15, just if you
Yeah,
are opening up and getting some good meters per second. So definitely make sure you got those good, strong legs to be able to run that fast.
100%.
So who's quicker, you or Tane, over the 10 meters and over, let's say, 40 meters?
I'd say myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd take him on the speed. He knows that as well.
That's awesome. So, how do you handle the pressure and stress of goal kicking? What advice do you have out
Mm.
there for people who struggle with that pressure? Because it's quite a lot of pressure. You got the crowd, getting into you, but you also may have just ran 40 meters and you're out of breath. So, how do you handle the pressure from the crowd and the external noise, but also the pressure that you put on yourself?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I've obviously struggled with that in the past. I had a mixed year last year. Some games for the Tars kicked really well. Other games, you miss a few easy kicks, and then in your head you start thinking, "What am I doing wrong?" It might just be the smallest little thing, but you start, thinking it's a lot bigger. Um, and then again on the Wallabies tour, I missed the kick against Italy, and then come out against Wales and kick 4 from 4. Like it's a very tough skill. And I personally think it's more mental than actual physical. Um, but yeah, like people have always said, there's so much stress and pressure from the outside, which there is. There's thousands of people watching you. It's a skill where you can easily get points for your team, or you can easily not get points for your team. But like I said, it's a lot to do with the mental state you're in. And if you don't worry about other people, if you just really hone in and zone into what you're doing at that moment, it makes things a lot easier. We've currently got a mental skills coach at the TARS, David King, and I'm doing a lot of work with him, on the mental side of things, not just goal kicking, but everything else. But I'm finding that's really helping already. And um, but yeah, like if you go to goal kicking, obviously practice throughout the week. You do all your practice. That obviously helps, just so you're confident going into the game. Different scenarios, put yourself under pressure at training. If it's windy, kick into the wind just to change it up. See how you change your ball placement. And then when you get into a game, you're confident. And then, like I said, it's all mental from there. You're good enough. You've done the reps. it's all mental. Sometimes, you might have an off day. You might kick the ball not how you want to. But then it's just the ability to really come back the next kick or the next week and switch back on, know that you're good enough, and then put them through the post. Like I said, that Italy game missed the kick, but then throughout the week had a good week of prep, came back against Wales and didn't miss one. So yeah, it's tough. There is a lot of pressure, but yeah, the way you kind of move on as quickly as possible and just trust your process, the better you'll be.
Yeah, and I love that word process. It comes back to that, like, what's your process to get you under control, slow your breathing down, you
Yeah.
know, get rid of that noise from the crowd and from the opposition, and just get back to what you know works really well for you, and just set up, go through the motions,
Mm.
focus, and then kick. And if you do that well, majority of the time it's going to happen. It's going to work out well for you. But
Yeah.
sometimes you miss, and you just gotta keep saying this quote, but you just got to have a memory like a goldfish. Just forget about it. Think of,
Definitely.
oh, okay, that's what didn't work properly. Sweet, I'm going to fix it and try again.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, couldn't say it better.
So, when you are deciding who's going to be the goal kicker for the week, what is that process like? I've always thought about that. As like, how do they know who to
Mm.
pick for the goal kicker? And when you are having that competition, are your teammates just talking a load of shit to you and just saying anything to get you off your game to miss that kick?
Um, yeah, it's a weird one because sometimes you're in the team and you might be the only goal kicker, so yeah, you just know straight away you're going to be the goal kicker. Whereas a couple of times, I've played with Will Harrison at 10 and 15, and you both obviously want a goal kick, and you're not sure who's going to goal kick. So a couple of times, even down at Ramwick and at the Tars last year, the coach puts you in a kickoff essentially. So on the Tuesday after training, will say, righto, here's 6 to 8 positions. We'll have a kickoff. Whoever gets the most kicks on the weekend. And yeah, I remember last year we had one at the Tars, and a couple of the boys were standing around, heckling us, and because they don't really care who kicks as long as we get our goals. So they're just trying to have a bit of fun with it and heckle us. And
Mm.
but yeah, it is an interesting one because obviously, if you're a goal kicker, you want to kick. You want to get points for your team. You want to win games. You want to assist wherever you can. So um, but yeah, it either sometimes it comes down to the coach, his personal preference, or like I said, he wants to have a kickoff. But then other times, if you're the only goal kicker, it makes it easier. You just know, all right, I'm kicking, go through your process, and yeah, it works itself out from there.
That's awesome. Who are some of the players in the team that think that they can goal kick and want to be the goal kicker for the team? Is there anyone who stands out?
Yeah, one that comes straight to mind is Jake Gordon. Um, he's always telling us fly halves how to kick, why he should be kicking. It's all a load of nonsense. We've seen him kick and he can't kick a ball he can't kick a ball off a tee for anything. But yeah, he's definitely one. He always tries to join in on our goal kicking sessions, but we just tell him to get out of there. Who else? I'd say Mahe Vailanu, the hooker. He's actually not a bad kicker, but he thinks he's a very, very good kicker. He's always trying to kick. A lot of those forwards always have a muck around after training, but we try to shove them off the field as quick as we can because they just get in our way.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, it's definitely a thing that you see at training all the time. Just forwards
Mm.
wanting to be backs in that kicking
Yeah,
area, and surprisingly, some of them can kick quite well, but
yeah,
I
they
don't
can.
think they have the capacity sometimes to recover and be able to kick in a game.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah. So you sort of already answered this one, but when you're not being a professional athlete, what do you like to do in your spare time? But like, what TV shows are you watching? What are some things that on TV that you watch in the moment? Is there any other secret hobbies or interests or um, books that you're reading or anything like that?
Yeah, like I said before, I love to go to the beach a fair bit. When the weather's good, obviously in Sydney we're quite lucky with some warm weather. So I love to get down to the beach, go for a surf now and then when my body's feeling up to it. Love to play golf. Like I said, a few of the boys play golf, so I love to get out there when I can on our day off. As long as I'm in a cart, I hate walking the golf course,
Mm,
especially during the season when your legs are getting tired. But
especially 18 holes as well.
yeah, always makes it tough. Um, what else? I'm at uni as well, so I'm doing one subject at the moment, which I've only got 2 subjects left until I finish my course. So I'm just working my way through that whenever I can. So the day off helps for that as well. And then TV shows, I'm not really watching any at the moment, but I'm more a movies man. So I kind of watch. My favorite is like heists. So any money heists or bank like robberies, that kind of stuff. I don't know why. I just kind of gets me going. So I like watching that.
Okay.
Um, and then book, I'm actually reading a book called Breathe at the moment. A fair few athletes have read it. It's just about how to, not how to breathe, but the essentials of breathing and how you should be breathing compared to how majority of people breathe and the benefits it has on performance, daily life. It's really interesting at the moment, but yeah, that's a couple of things I do.
Yeah, it's definitely is interesting breathing, and I'm not too sure if the Brumbies sort of started that trend, but it was really clear for them like a few years back that they'll come together. It doesn't matter if they get scored upon or score points. They come together, get 1 to 2 breaths, and then
Mm,
talk.
yeah,
And I've just loved seeing that, and I've brought it with to the rugby teams that I've worked with, and just athletes as well. It's just like just take a couple of breaths before anyone just starts yapping away, calm yourself, and then talk. I think that's been a
yeah,
massive game changer for the Brumbies. Do the Waratahs do something like that as well?
yeah. We do. I think a lot of teams these days do that. I don't know if they know that it work. Like I don't know if it's actually beneficial or if it's just kind of catching on to every team. But I think it works. You come into a huddle and it gives you 5 to 10 seconds just to slow your thoughts, process something, get a breath, and then on to the next job. So how it works for us, our captain or our halfbacks usually um, have a couple breaths with the team, and then the 10 or the defensive leader will relate their next message. And I really like it. Like I said, it can slow your thought, give the boys 5 to 10, just to calm down a little bit, and then focus on the next, I guess, focus point moving forward. But yeah, like I said, reading this book, it's definitely opened my mind to how we really should be breathing and different ways to different techniques, I guess, to breathe and meditate. And yeah, I think it's working. So yeah, it's really interesting.
It's probably good that you tell the halfbacks to take a breath. They're always yapping away and
Yeah,
barking orders, like, hey, calm down, take 2 breaths
definitely,
for me.
100%, 100%.
So, how are the Waratahs looking for the 2023 Super Rugby season?
Yeah, look, we're feeling really good, really good. Obviously, the whole coaching staff, it's their second year in the program. Well, DC's second year in the program. He's working really well with all the assistants. There's a good crew of them there. They're really, really pushing for a better season this year. And like I said, most of our squad has returned from last year with a few extra signings who will be very good for us. And yeah, the boys are training really well at the moment. Training hard. Nick Lumley, our head of performance, who joined us last year, he's been unreal. Pushing the boys real hard. Um, Doing 2 gym sessions a day, big field sessions. So the boys are looking good, in good shape, and yeah, we're setting our goals high. We want to make the top four this year. That's the first goal, and then obviously once you make the top four, anything can happen. Everyone knows that. So winning the title's the long term goal, but top four, that's our aim, and I think all the boys and all the coaches know that we can achieve that. So yeah, it should be good.
That's awesome. So, what are the key areas that the Waratahs want to improve this year after having a really good season last year?
It's a good question. I think one of the main ones is, I guess, we lost a lot of the games we lost last year were, I think, within 7 points. Um, so I guess just converting those tight losses into tight wins. It's easy to say, but there's looking back at those games, there's small moments like before halftime, after halftime. You let a try in, and essentially that's the game-winning try. You don't know it at the moment, but so I think our defense really showed up last year compared to the year before. So that's something that we've been really driving on in preseason. Jason Gilmore's done a really good job. We're doing a lot of wrestling and stuff, so that's a big focus point for us. Just being really hard tough and really coming to the floor with our defense there. And then, like I said, just winning those pressure moments. So if we can turn 3 or 4 of those losses, real tight losses, into real tight wins, that'll go a long way into us making the top four. Um, and then I guess, like I said, we probably missed a few opportunities last year. We'd make a good line break and then you should be scoring the next phase, but something would happen, we wouldn't score. So it's just those little moments, especially before halftime and after halftime, where you can capitalize on them and really change the momentum of the game to, like I said, turn the tight losses into tight wins.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be really exciting to see how the Waratahs go this year. And just like you said, you went from a season of not winning to then
Mm.
making the quarterfinals and then who knows what's going to happen? And it's just really exciting to
Yeah.
see, Australian rugby get that spark back and really competing against those New Zealand sides. And going into a World Cup year, it's really going to be exciting to see who puts their hand up to grab a spot in the Wallaby squad, but also perform at Super Rugby.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, we've versed some Kiwi sides as well, and that's been a major focus of both DC and Nick Lumley, head of performance. We kind of felt last year we got dominated a little bit against the Kiwi sides, even though we beat a couple of them. Just physically, they're just the next step ahead. So that's why I've been working really hard in the gym. With Nick Lumley, a lot of boys trying to put on weight. A lot of boys getting stronger, which is good, hitting PBs and stuff. So I think a lot of people will see a change when we come up against the Kiwi sides. Our footy won't have changed much, but I think we'll be a lot more physically present. And like I said, especially in defence, we're going to make some big changes there.
That's awesome. Exciting times ahead.
Mm.
So, looking toward the Rugby World Cup, how do the Wallabies put themselves in the best possible position to compete and play their best rugby?
I guess an easy one is probably to say have everyone fit.
Mm.
There's a lot of injuries over the past 18 months, which never helps. Obviously you can't help injuries, but it is very detrimental to a team when you're trying to make combinations and stuff like that. So yeah, guess number one, have everyone fit. Number two, like I said, combinations. Last year I think last year the Wallabies used five different players at fly half, me included. It's not ideal when there's a World Cup coming up and you want to try and build good combinations. But like I said, it doesn't help when there's injuries and players playing overseas and stuff like that. It's always tough for the coaches. But yeah, combinations is a big one. The more you can stick with a team, I believe, for majority of games, the better you're going to play in the long term. Um, and then obviously with the new coach, it's a very exciting time. Dave Rennie was awesome. He was good for me, good for the boys. Bit of a shock when we heard he was leaving.
I think it was a shock to everyone. We're like, shit, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, big shock. Especially we had a camp the week before, and we were kind
Mm.
of, setting out our plan for the year. But yeah, that was a massive shock. But I think with that comes Eddie Jones. Everyone knows what he can do, what he can bring. So yeah, it's very exciting. And I think if he can, I guess, select a squad who he thinks can win the World Cup in this short period and really bring them together and build combinations, like I said, there's no reason why Australia can't win the World Cup this year.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and even prior to Dave Rennie being sacked, I was still very excited for the Wallabies because on that spring tour, or autumn tour, depending where you're talking about, but
Yeah.
we had some close losses, but we weren't far off.
Mm.
We really weren't far off. And like you said, we've had quite a few injuries, different combinations. And even with those combinations, we were still able to compete and really give it to, France, Ireland. And yeah, like we're not far off where everyone says, oh, Australian rugby's fallen off quite a bit. Yeah, it may have, but we're still competing. We've still got some really good talent. And we need to back this talent and really support it because we're not far off from winning games and really being or getting back to our best rugby.
Yeah, you're right. Like at the end of the tour last year, we all sat down and Dave Rennie spoke about. He said, we could have easily gone through this tour 5 wins and no losses. It was just
Mm.
that close. And again, we could have gone through 0 wins and 5 losses. All the games were that close. But like you said, it just showed that the squad we had, even though there was a lot of injuries, the squad still showed up. Like you said, the France game, the Ireland game, like they all come down to tiny little moments. Um, like I was speaking about before, where you can win tight games, lose tight games. But all the boys know that, we could have won five and lost none on that tour. And I guess that's as hard as it was only winning 2 games on that tour, it does give us a bit of confidence, moving into this year, knowing that we can compete with any team in the globe. If you play your best footy for 80 minutes, we can beat anyone. And I think, especially in a World Cup year, a lot of things can happen. So I think if you can get a team on the park who's good enough, which I think, like we were saying before, the fortunate thing is last year we went through a lot of players because of injury. So there's good depth now building in Australia, and
Mm.
I think that just helps, and that'll give the coaches a lot of confidence moving into this year.
Yeah, I think it's going to have some positive headaches as well. Like, shit, everyone's
Yeah,
playing well and hopefully everyone's still available. But like
yeah.
all these positive headaches, like, who am I going to pick here? I've got so many options now. So
Mm.
I think we're turning those negatives into positives, and
100%.
I'm really excited for the World Cup, but also really excited for Super Rugby as well. I just wanted to start now, to be honest.
I know, I know. Everyone does. Everyone can't wait.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. We just want to take a quick break from this episode. We hope you're enjoying this episode so far and all the content we have produced. We appreciate all the support from our listeners and followers so far. If you haven't already, sign up to Elite Rugby S&C blog today. We provide free exclusive content every single week to our subscribers. You'll find our website link in our bio below. Remember to like, subscribe, and share Elite Rugby S&C on all social media platforms to all your family and friends. Thanks again for all your support, and now back to the episode. So, how has strength and conditioning training helped you to become a better rugby athlete?
Um, oh, massively. I think, I've never been the biggest bloke, strongest bloke. Always been pretty quick and stuff, but I've never been the biggest bloke. But over the past 3 years, I've definitely seen a change in, well, obviously when you start playing professional footy, you start feeling the hits more. You start there's bigger blokes. Like it's men's footy. So for me personally, it's been a goal of mine, to put on weight. Working with the coaches and the strength stuff, I need to put on weight. Playing at 10, you need to be strong in that front line, like I said earlier. Um, so yeah, it's of huge importance. You can't have like I said before, you're versing the Kiwi sides. You need to be strong, even though it is footy and you're using your skills. When it comes down to 1-on-1 or 2-on-2, you need to be able to dominate those contacts. So that's why it all comes down back to the strength and conditioning. Like I said, Nick Lumley's got us doing a lot of work in the gym, a lot of fitness stuff that includes down ups, footy related stuff. But yeah, for me personally, I've gotten a lot stronger over the past couple of years, and I've definitely seen benefits and improvements on the footy field. Just in defensive work, in ball carrying, gives you more confidence, to take the line on because you've got good power in your legs to get through the line, or you can fend someone off because you're strong up top. Like I said, if you're not strong in those areas, you're obviously gonna fall behind a little bit. So yeah, that's why everyone, that's why it's moving forward quite rapidly.
And I think the good thing about your story is you have all the speed and physical attributes needed to play at 10 or 15, and then you're slowly adding on the strength and size. It's not just like you're going to blow up and then you're losing your speed. It's that complementary of we're still going to grow your speed, but we're slowly going to get you built up. I see that sometimes, unfortunately, with athletes, like, oh, I just need to get stronger and bigger. So they do that hypertrophy bodybuilding program, blow up, and
Yeah,
you've actually lost the strengths that made you unique as a player. So if you can maintain both of them, build them both up together, you're just going to reap the rewards
yeah,
out there on the field.
yeah, 100%. And that's one thing that a lot of players, worry about these days when coaches are saying, yeah, you got to put on weight, you got to get stronger, this and that. Especially for players like me, you kind of your first thought is, oh, like, will I lose my speed? Will this overtake, my running game, which is one of my strengths? But these days, every coach and every strength and conditioning coach, they know exactly what they're doing. So yeah, they know that you need to get bigger, but they also know that that's your strength. We'll keep working on your speed. We'll do more speed work so you don't lose that, but at the same time, you're getting stronger. They work very well to benefit each individual based on their strengths, and then just build up the weaknesses or work-ons. Just chip at it bit by bit, and then hopefully one day you turn out at not the perfect player. I don't think there is a perfect player, but close enough to that one day.
I think the New Zealand listeners would say, "Hey, there is a perfect player. His name's Richie McCaw." And yeah,
Fair
okay, fair
enough.
enough.
Fair enough.
He's a god in their eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he
he
is.
is pretty good. So, what does your strength and conditioning program currently look like this week?
Yeah, so Monday mornings, backs and forwards always split. So backs will go in the gym. We'll do a good upper body session, solid session of upper body, and then in the afternoon. So every training day we have, we do a big session in the morning, and then like a upper body pump in the other, just to put a bit more size on. So Monday morning, big upper body session in the morning, upper body pump in the other. Tuesday, big lower body session in the morning, upper body pump in the other. Thursday, same big lower body session in the morning, another upper body pump in the other, and then Friday, just the one big upper body session. And this week we've got a watt bike. It's called the watt bike championships. Everyone's got to get on the watt bike and you're in teams and you've got to pump out. I don't know what it is, but the big boys, or the small boys don't like it, but the big boys, that's something
Mm,
that they can excel at.
mm. Does anyone wear the track cycling or the road cycling gear? All the tight clothing and stuff like that.
No, no one does, but we've actually had a few chats around it as like a punishment. If
Yeah.
we do player fines every Monday, and one of them we haven't done it yet, but it'd be a good one to do. If you get fined, you need to anytime you're on the watt bike, you should wear a full cycling outfit and helmet.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty funny.
No, that's awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing these, player pictures or the intros on Stan Rugby. Because if
Mm.
you're doing this much upper body work, the guys folding their arms open over those biceps should be popping out of the sleeves.
I know there's some of the boys walking around training at the moment, huge. Charlie Gamble, I didn't think he would get any bigger, but every day he walks in, you're just like, wow, like this bloke is huge. There's a few of the boys who are like that, and yeah, they don't wear shirts very often,
Mm.
but yeah, I guess they don't have to when they've got bodies like that.
Yeah, for sure. Trying to show it off. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So, what makes a good teammate on and off the rugby field?
Um. Oh, let's go on the field first. I guess someone who you can trust. So for me personally, I like someone who knows their knowledge. If I'm calling a play, they know exactly what they're doing. They go, "Yep, sweet." They're in the right position. They're talking constantly. You can just trust them. They're not going to let you down. Whether that's in defense, they're going to put their body on the line. Whether they're a good defender or not, they're going to put their body on the line. They'll get up straight away. They'll fill the line. In attack, like I said, they'll talk to you. ASEN, it's going to go a long way. And then off the field, I guess, um, same again. If boys are just working hard, doing the extras, doing their whole gym session, doing their recovery, but then also just having fun, enjoying themselves off the field. That's when you got a good teammate. I think sometimes there's blokes who are so serious they forget to have fun or enjoy, their time off the field, and that can kind of bring other people down. But I just love the blokes who work real hard on the field, work hard off the field when the time's right, and then when we got downtime, chill out, play ping pong, have a coffee, have a laugh. Yeah, it's just good company to be around.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And you just need to have that outlet from rugby because
Yeah,
we can get so caught up with the plays and the analytics, and we can watch so much film and everything like that.
yeah.
But you need to have that outlet, enjoy something else, enjoy life, enjoy your family and friends, enjoy each other's company, and I don't
Mm.
know, go watch another sport as well. Just completely
Yeah,
switch off.
100%, 100%.
So, who is the best and worst teammates to room with in your
Ooh,
experience?
in my experience, worst I'd have to say Angus Bell. Um, usually you room with someone in your position or numbers based, so like 1, 2, 3, 4. But for some reason last year when we were in Melbourne, one of the props got sick and had to go home, and that's when I was coming back from injury, so I got flown into Melbourne for that game. So I had to room with Angus Bell, unfortunately. Um, Great bloke. I love Belly, but he's just he will eat the house down and he'll leave his rubbish everywhere and he snores. He's big and stinky. He's terrible. The best, who would be the best? Who do I room with? I'd probably have to say I'll probably throw Will Harrison in there. Room with him a fair bit. I guess we're pretty similar. We have similar interests. We're both pretty, laid back when we're off the field. Probably helps that we've known each other for a long time. So it always helps when you have a roomie who it's comfortable. It's not awkward.
Hmm.
He's clean. He goes to bed early, doesn't snore. So yeah, there's not much wrong room with him. So yeah, probably those two.
Sounds like the perfect roommate, Will Harris, and also the perfect golf partner as well.
Yeah, he's not the best on the golf course.
That's awesome.
No,
So,
he's good.
moving on, got a few more questions before we wrap this up. The Triple H, my favorite segment, is just getting to know you a bit better. So, hardship.
Yep.
Can you think of a hardship in your rugby career that stands out so far? And what did you learn for this hardship and how did you get through it?
Yeah. Good question. I'll probably have to say probably last year, to be honest, when I started at 10 at the start of the season for the Tars. Kind of established myself, re-signed the year before. Was feeling really good, playing good footy, making good combos with the boys, and then obviously got injured, which sucked. And then another good mate of mine, Tane, comes in at 10, starts playing some unreal footy. And then I come back from injury, and then I found it really hard to get back into that 10 role. DC said to me, mate, you were playing some great footy beforehand, but we just can't drop Tane. He's playing too well, which is fair enough. He was playing some good footy. And that was really tough. It's always tough when, someone else is playing your position. Um, and I found it really tough to take. I was playing really well beforehand. I just thought, I might just slot back in there when I come back, but it doesn't happen like that. In pro sport, it's a cutthroat industry. You get injured, you might never make the team again. So I found that really tough. Obviously, made my way back into the team at fullback, so I was starting. You can't complain when you're, starting for a super team. But I wanted to play 10, so I found it tough. But sometimes you just got to take it on the chin. And DC said I wasn't doing anything wrong. They just couldn't drop him. He was playing well, so I just took it on the chin. Just worked hard for the team. Obviously, it's a team sport, so put my head down, kept working hard, and then ended up, like I said, starting at fullback for the last couple of games, which was good fun. We played some good footy, and then I guess once the season finished, I kind of just refreshed my mind and thought, all right, the season's done now. Payne obviously finished at 10. I'll just keep working hard and hopefully get back there this year. And then obviously Aussie A comes around and I played some good footy there and kind of established myself as the 10 again. And then, um, my confidence was back. I was playing some good footy. And then obviously the Wallabies made the Wallabies. And that was kind of just a cherry on top, from the start of the year where you're starting 10, injuries happen, you don't get selected again. Your mindset, you can kind of get into the negative thoughts and whatnot. But just to finish how I did in the Wallabies, with that 10 jersey, yeah, it was a really cool way to finish. And when I look back at it now, it's quite cool looking back at it. And yeah, like I always say to people, you have lows and highs, but the more you can kind of just stay in the middle, don't ride them too high, don't ride them too low, the better you'll be overall. And that's what I tried to do. And yeah, it all worked itself out in the end, finishing with the Wallabies. So yeah, it was a pretty cool year.
It's just riding that wave, like you said, you're
Yeah,
going to come up, you're going to come down, and just keep riding and trust that process, and you'll get back to where you need to be. And
yeah,
if
definitely.
not, at least you're working hard and still
Yeah,
enjoying yourself along the way.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And like I said, Tane's one of my best mates. So is Will Harrison, and it's quite DC always says it's quite a unique situation. Three young tens at the same club who are all, you know, quite good players in Australian rugby. All vying for a Wallabies spot essentially. So when one of us don't get picked, we're always still helping each other. We hang out off the field. We're always competing on the field, but we're best mates. So we love it when the other bloke gets picked, but at the same time, you're obviously shattered because you want to be there. But yeah, like I said, just got to put your head down, work hard, and help the bloke who's starting because essentially it's a team sport. But just keep working hard because you obviously want to get that spot back. Yeah, like I said, it was a cool year, good way to finish.
Yeah, and that's the key to it is if you are competing with someone for the same position, like you're competing to help each other get better and really push to
Definitely.
see who gets that position, and you're not throwing shade onto the team like, oh, he got picked and I should have
Mm,
been there. You're competing together for the team for that spot, and if you don't get picked but he gets picked, awesome. Just keep working and see what happens. But I love that, and I think that's really essential to any sport is being able to compete and make your teammates better.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
So, who is your hero and why is this person your hero? Or if you have multiple heroes?
Um, I probably can't go past my mum and my dad. Just because many people probably always say it, but honestly, they like I said before, the sports I played when I was a young kid, they sign you up for all that. They drive you every weekend to your sport. Dad coached me a lot when I was younger in all the junior rugby teams. Um, Mum always, drive me to training, drive me to games. They still come, they flew overseas to watch me for the Wallabies last year. So I think, having them kind of as mentors and, as your parents, you can't get better heroes than that. If I had to choose a rugby hero, I'd probably have to say it's a good question. I never really had like any heroes when I was growing up, but just blokes I used to love watching. Obviously Steve Larkham was awesome to watch, just the way he plays. Kind of similar stature to me, tall, not the biggest bloke, but he just moves so well with the ball. And I kind of attribute my game a little bit to his. And obviously, as I got older, watching Bernard Foley, I love watching him play. Some of the stuff he did back in the day, he was just freakish, and he's still running around for the Wallabies now, which is awesome at his age. But yeah, probably those two on the rugby field, they were awesome to watch.
That's awesome, and you get to go against Steve Larkham, round one of the Super
Mm.
Rugby. So that's going to be a pretty cool moment for yourself.
Yeah, that'd be very cool. I think that's good for the Brumbies having him down there. Obviously, helping out Noah and Debrasini, the tens down there. He'll be awesome for them. He came away with us for Australian under 20s as like a back skills coach, and he was awesome. The wealth of knowledge that we learned from him was huge for us. And I've had a few chats with him back and forth just about rugby, and yeah, he's a great man. And yeah, it'd be cool to go against him.
No, it's awesome. So, highlight. What is the main highlight that stands out in your rugby career so far?
Ooh, that's a good question. Obviously, playing for the Wallabies is definitely number one. Like I said, my debut didn't really go to plan, but you're still playing for your country. I was lucky because I got another cap. My highlight's probably the second cap, to be honest. Playing at Principality Stadium in front of 70,000, starting at number 10, my first starting game. That was just crazy. I've never experienced anything like that. So yeah, probably just that tour was probably the highlight of my career. My first Wallabies tour. My mum and dad came over for it, which was awesome. My uncle, getting the debut was awesome, and then starting at number 10 in that second game, getting the win was awesome. So I'll probably have to say just that whole tour, the whole experience, ending in starting jersey was really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. It would have been incredible to play in front of that crowd, with that atmosphere, and
Yeah,
everyone booing against you with only a
yeah,
small couple of Wallabies fans in that crowd, and to get a really good win.
mm,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah. It was really cool.
So, if you could only give 1 or 2 points of advice for rugby athletes out there, what would you say to them?
I've kind of touched on one of them already, just enjoyment. Like I say it all the time to teams I coach or young players. If you enjoy your footy, you're gonna play your best footy. That's how I see it. And you start playing sport or rugby at a young age, to have fun with your friends on the weekend. It's never really too serious when you're young. When you're a young fella, you just come out on the weekend and have fun and play some footy and see your mates. So I think if you can carry that through to a professional scene, if young boys or girls make it, you can carry that enjoyment factor all the way through. I think that goes a long way. And Dave Rennie made a big point of it on the tour last year, just to really enjoy the tour. Obviously, work hard and play good footy, but enjoy it, have fun. That's the reason we start playing footy. So just yeah, if you can keep enjoying your footy all the way through, that's massive. And then probably the second one is just listen to your coaches. It's a lot of people always say it as well, but like over the years, I've had so many different coaches in different sports, but every coach has a different outlook on the way they want to play, especially rugby. Um, they probably come from different countries, different areas, different ideologies. So the more you can actually listen to them and not just let it go in one ear out the other, I guess you learn a lot more. Your knowledge becomes more powerful, and um, especially when you make the professional stage, the more knowledge you have, the better you're going to be. So yeah, if you can listen to your coaches, more times than not, it'll help. It'll help a big deal.
I think every coach is nodding and agreeing, like, yes, listen to me, okay?
Definitely, definitely.
That's awesome. So, who should be my next guest on the podcast? Is there any old or current teammates that should jump on and join me for a chat?
Um, Probably a good one actually. I mentioned him before, the big Charlie Gamble. I'm not sure if you've had him on before. I don't think you have.
Not yet. Have
Yeah,
reached
nah.
out to him. He hasn't checked his DMs yet,
Okay,
so
I'll
you
let him
might
know
have to help me.
because you've probably heard of his story coming through rugby and stuff. It's a really good story, and just to see where he's got to. He just recently made the Wallabies camp. Yeah, it's a sick story, and like I said, he's one of the bigger blokes going around, so he could give you some good insights to his strength and conditioning as well. And yeah, I reckon he'd be really good to have on.
Man, awesome. And he's got a great moustache as well.
He does. He does. It's a cracker.
Yeah. So, where can listeners find you on social media if they do want to reach out or just keep up to date with your story?
Yeah, mainly probably just Instagram's probably the best one. I don't even know what my username is now. Ben_Donaldson or something like that. But yeah, reach out if you want. No dramas there. I like when I had a fair few people reach out to me when I made the Wallabies last year. Just people who I don't know, and I love seeing that. And I try to respond to a lot of people as well, even if I don't know them. They make the effort to reach out, so may as well make the effort to go back at them. So yeah, if you want to, go for it, but you don't have to. No harm.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, thanks for joining me today, Ben. It's been awesome to get to understand your story and like just reflect on what a season it was last year. But it's really exciting to see what the future has in store for you and the Waratahs and the Wallabies. And yeah, it's just been awesome to learn from yourself with all those really great insights on goal kicking and just more the mental side of the game as well. So,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining me today. It's been awesome.
No, no worries. Thanks for having me. It's been a good chat. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Elite Rugby S&C podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and rate Elite Rugby S&C on Spotify and YouTube, and make sure you follow us on Instagram. Sign up to become a beast via the link in the description or via Instagram page. Also, don't wait, make that good decision and join Elite Rugby S&C today and take your game to the next level. Thanks for listening.